Hello everyone, this is Lucy05 and welcome to the Cobra Master Toy Review. And today so you'll be looking at the 2004 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe Valor vs. Venom vehicles and action figures review. And today's vehicles and action figure review, we're looking at the KB Toys exclusive of the Operation Crimson Sabotage set. Now, I got this straight from eBay, and this set alone cost me $50, which is way more pricier when it's first released in KB Toys. Now, the original price tag is still here. The KB Toys price tag stating $19.99. Now, this set here is quite rare to find in eBay. Furthermore, not a lot of sellers willing to ship worldwide, so I'm still alright paying $50 for this. Other people are actually selling it for $60 to $70, maybe even more for this Operation Crimson Sabotage set. Now, let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging itself. Now, you will see there's a large window here displaying all the toys inside the packaging. We have the Crimson Guards in the front, one more Crimson Guard situated at the turret there, sitting in the tank, the Crimson Tanks turret. And next to it is the Crimson Amps, which is acronym stands for Assault System Pod. And at the background there are 3 shotguns. Now, in the top section there, nothing special, but it has the G.I. Joe logo. And at the bottom here, more G.I. Joe logo, but this time we have the file card at the bottom section here instead. Now, in the top corner here we have the image of the Crimson Guard. Top section here stated Crimson Guard Cobra Elite Trooper. Here we have the Cobra logo. Now, in the smaller write-up stating the Crimson Guard troopers are elite shock troops of the Cobra Legions. Each must hold a degree in either law or accounting, as well as being in top physical condition. After rigorous training in Cobra combat and tactics, each CG undergoes plastic surgery (bracket) performed by the Cobra surgeon scalpel and bracket, so that each trooper will look similar. Afterward, each is given their new assignment, a new life in a new city. Crimson Guard troops are too precious to be wasted on the conventional battlefield, and are instead expected to become valued members of the community, to climb the political and corporate ladder into positions of importance. Forming this force is thought to be one of the first actions of Cobra Commander. After he formed Cobra, the CG network may have been in place already for more than 10 years. At least 2 and perhaps more prominent members of Congress (bracket) and dozens of lobbyists and bracket are rumored to be quote and unquote CGs in deep undercover. Watch out, that town mayor of yours might just have a red uniform hanging in his closet. Very nice. Now, in the back portion of the packaging, the side portion of the packaging is nothing special, it's just a window. One corner here is a write-up for the introduction for the Valor vs. Venom storyline itself. But at the bottom section here, it is a smaller write-up for the Crimson Guards and his tank plus the apps itself. The Crimson Guard do not reveal themselves until it is time to strike. They receive orders from Cobra Commander to launch a crucial takeover of a key technological installation. Riding in formidable HISS vehicles with anti-aircraft guns in tow, the Crimson Guard troops near the facility just as a G.I. Joe team arrives to stop the attack. Very nice. Here we have the image of the actual toy itself. Of course, the paint job differs from the actual toy, but here we have the Crimson HISS. It has some features like cockpit that opens, rotating gun turret. We have here at the bottom stated includes Crimson Guard figures with removable helmets. And finally we have the Crimson Apps, attach anti-aircraft gun to tow hook. And that's about it with the features. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toys. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figures and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Now let's take a look at the figures accessories here. Now the Crimson Guards figures, all three of them do not come with a base stand at all, which is a disappointment for a 2004 release. You would thought that they would give them some base stands, considering that 2004 was like several years ago. Well, of course, 8 years ago. Now, they do come with a pair of accessories, but they are all identical, which is not really very unique at all, but still a nice touch. The three figures here come with all identical accessories, and they are all given with a pump action shotgun made of a black plastic material color with no paint job at all. The details is quite nice. You got the handle here, the trigger, the finger guard, the pump action, the barrel here. You got the targeting sight on the top, and also a folded stock. Very nicely done with the details. Again, very uncommon to see a Crimson Guard armed with a pump action shotgun, because we are used to see the 1985 release of the Crimson Guard armed with a bayonet rifle. Why give them a pump action shotgun is beyond me as well. Now, they also come along with a removable helmet, which is a very nice thing actually. Most collectors actually collect this version of Crimson Guards with the removable helmet. Very nice, made of a dark red plastic material color, and the material is rather soft. Well, not too soft, still a little bit hard, but I can still bend it a little bit. Now, the entire thing is made of a dark red plastic material color. The forehead section here is painted in silver. The entire face mask is painted in black. The visor is painted in a silver lining, so does the mouth itself, as you can see. Very nice. And the details of the mold is all new, of course. This is a removable helmet. The original figure, the 1985 release of the Crimson Guard, do not come with a removable helmet. The entire helmet is actually, well, molded. That's the head itself. So it's a really nice touch that they give these guys with a removable helmets. Very nice. The details is quite close to the original figure's head. Very nice. And each one of them come with the same helmet and fits in quite tightly onto the figure's head. And that's all the accessories that you have for the Crimson Guards. They don't even come along with backpacks. So it's quite disappointing on the accessory wise there. But the helmet is absolutely good. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now there are three Crimson Guards, and three of them have, well, different skin tone and different hair color. First, let's take a look at the first version. Now the skin tone there is not painted, of course, made of a flesh tone plastic material color. The hair is painted in black. Eyebrows as well is also painted in black. The second one here, the flesh tone skin is not painted, made of a flesh tone plastic material color. The hair is painted a bit reddish. Eyebrows is painted in red. And the final figure, the flesh tone skin there is made of a dark brown flesh tone plastic material color. The hair is painted in black. Eyebrows is also painted in black as well. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the first figure first. The paint job on the entire figure is mostly not painted, of course. The body itself, majority of parts of the body is actually made of a dark red plastic material color. The head itself is, well, made of a flesh tone plastic material color. Now what's nice of the paint job of the head itself is that not only the hair is also painted, the eyebrows as well. The pupils are painted in black as well. Of course, the background of the eyes is painted in white. The face mask that covers half the face is painted in black, but it stops just right below at the bottom section of the collar itself. So if you tilt the head back, you get to see the flesh tone skin. So it's quite nicely done with the paint job. You don't actually cover, well, half of your face using a face mask. that goes all the way down below your under your shirt. So it's actually quite believable. Now, as I mentioned before, majority of the body parts itself is made of a dark red plastic material color. So there are some parts that are actually painted, like the rivets, the buttons itself are painted in a very dull gold. Very dull gold. So does this straps on the side of the shoulder here as well, and that goes all the way to the back. Shoulder pads there are painted in black with silver paint job onto the stripes itself. The medals, as you can see here, looks quite worn out. Very nice, but not much detailed paint job compared to the 25th anniversary version of the Crimson Guard, of course. It looks really worn out. There's a orange color Cobra logo right at the torso here, in the middle portion of the abdomen. Belt is painted in black all the way to the back, buckles down, and the straps are painted in silver. The entire arms on one side is not painted at all. The other side on the arm is also not painted, but it actually has this logo. You'll have a Crimson Guard logo here, and the words are actually imprinted onto the lower section of the logo itself, and it's very small. You have to, well, look at it really close to able to read what is written there. But to save you the trouble, I actually read it, and it stated that 1st Crimson Division. Very nice. Got a nice logo there as well. Wrist there is painted in silver. The hands or the gloves is actually painted in black. Thigh section on one side, as you can see, the stripes is being painted in black. On the other side of the thigh itself, the stripes is also painted in black, but so does the pistol itself is painted in black. And for the boots, it's all in black paint job, and that's about it. Very nicely done with the details of the paint job. I really like the details of the paint job itself, especially when they have the Crimson Guard Division logo imprinted on the side of the left side of the arm itself. I really wish they put more detailed paint job onto the medals. It will look very nice. All of the rest of the figures have the same similar paint job, so I don't have to go through them. Now for the figures mold here, majority of the parts are already used. The torso, the hips, and the entire legs are actually belong to the 1985 release of the version 1 Crimson Guard. The upper biceps actually came from the 1992 release of, well, Duke. And the lower arms actually came from the 1992 release of Shockwave from the Drug Elimination Force. Both Duke and Shockwave are version 3 figures. And the only thing that's new onto this figure itself is the head mold. Yes, the head mold for all 3 of these figures, they all share the same head molds. There are no changes at all. But all 3 of these figures actually have new head molds, which is a very nice touch actually, because you have included a Crimson Guard figure with a new head mold and a removable helmet. So really good stuff here. The details is alright. Half his face is covered with the face mask. You get to see a little bit of wrinkle on the bottom section of the face mask itself, so that's actually not bad. He also, you can see the forehead itself, there's a lot of wrinkles. It's trying to put on this really menacing face. Very nice, very serious menacing face. Each side of the ears mold itself is quite nicely done. So that's the hair itself. For the rest of the body parts mold, it's basically the same thing, but we go through them as well. You have all the buttons there. You got the medals, very nice. On the side of the shoulders here, you got this strap. Shoulders here, we have the pads as well as the ranking as well, the stripes, very nice. Arms is nothing that special. Bottom section of the arms is there's a little bit of wrinkle. However, for the legs itself, one side of the leg, you get to see the molded stripes and the scruffle wrinkles from the pants itself. The other side of the thigh section here, we have a molded gun, which is a pity that these guys are not given an accessory, a pistol for them, since they are given with a molded pistols right onto the left side of the tire itself. Lower section of the legs itself, we have the pouch on each side of the boots itself. Very nicely done with a boot mold. Very nice. And that's about it. We have the details of the figure. Very nicely done. I really like the paint job colors, as well as some good portion of mixture of the arms and the body for the Crimson Guard, and a new head mold for the figure. Let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can pivot back, straight, cannot go side to side though, but can turn left and right just a little bit. Torso is made of a O-ring attachment. It attaches to the torso area and the low hip area, so you cannot turn this 360 degrees, but you can turn left and right, of course. If you turn 360 degrees, you will just snap the O-ring rubber band. You can pivot back a little bit, down a little bit, side to side. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees, then go all the way up this high. Elbow joint bends this far and turn 360 degrees. Hip joints here can move forward this far and back a little bit and to the sides. Single jointed knee that bends only this far. Very nice. Now let's fully equip all the Crimson Guards with their accessories. It's a pity that none of them are given with a base stand. As you can see, it's quite difficult to have the figures stand properly without a base stand. And I really wish they are given with the rifle, the bayonet rifle and the backpack, because this guy is carrying the shotguns. Look kind of weird, but still, very nice figures. If I'm gonna give a rating for this Crimson Guards, I say that they are really good given with new head molds and removable helmets, which is a really good deal there. Body is nothing new. It's basically the same Crimson Guard body, which is expected. You do need the same mold that was released in 1985, except they changed the arm molds to using the 1992 release of Duke, the version 3 Duke and the version 3 Shockwave. Still a nice combination there. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, the accessories is very lacking, but still, it's still alright. So I'm gonna give this guys a nice 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10 for the Valor vs. Venom Operation Crimson Sabotage Crimson Guards. Next up, let's take a look at the Crimson His Tank and the Crimson Abs. Be right back. And we're back, and this time we'll take a look at the Crimson His Tank and the Crimson Abs. But first things first, let's take a look at the Crimson Abs first, because it's a smaller vehicle. So I'm going to move this Crimson His Tank on one side. Let's take a look at the Crimson Abs here. Now the Crimson Abs is actually made of two types of plastic material color, black and red. The body is made of a red plastic material color, as you can see here. It's actually painted in red as well. I'm not too sure why they do that, but it's actually a very nice paint job. It makes it look very striking in red. And it's also labeled with a lot of sticker labels. You got a Cobra logo here, a snake or Cobra snake logo here. And this section is stated Abs, which is acronym stands for Assault System Pod. On the other side of the body itself is also laden with the same sticker labels. However, from the front here, we have a headlight sticker label in yellow and white. Very nice. The body itself is painted in red. And by opening the rib cage itself, the seating area, the padding area, and the two platforms here is painted in black. back portion of the Crimson Apps here, the engine cover is not painted at all. Made of a black plastic material color. And here we have the back portion of the engine. Despite that it's painted in red with a little bit of black stains now, I really wish they put more detailed paint job for the engines, but it's already expected for such a, well, for such a paint job on the vehicles itself from Hasbro. Bottom section of the Crimson Apps here is painted in black. Very nice. The two guns, as you can see here, is made of a black plastic material color. There's also two sticker labels for each side of the guns. It's stated hydraulic maintain fluid level in a dull red font with black background. So you have to bring it up closer a little bit just to read the words there. Very nicely done. The rib cage itself is actually made of a black plastic material color. Bottom section of the Crimson Apps itself is totally made of a black plastic material color. There's a bit of sticker labels here on this section here, pointing to the left, stating to unlatch. On the other side, the sticker label is placed here instead. Also the same sticker label pointing to the left to say to unlatch. And bottom section of the Crimson Apps itself, it's actually sprayed with a lot of mud stains onto the wheels, the base, and the stabilizing legs as well. The side of the base, including the back portion of the stabilizing legs. Very nice. It makes it look very dirty. Bottom section of the body of the Crimson Apps itself, as you can see, there's a bit of black stains there. I'm not too sure if it's deliberate, but it makes it look like it's been used before, so it's actually not bad looking. No paint job onto this platform here. It's all made of a black plastic material color. And that's all there is for the paint job of the Crimson Apps. Now, the mold of the Crimson Apps itself is no different to the 1984 release of the original Crimson Apps. As you can see, they're both the same mold with no changes at all. However, this one is made from 1984 mold, whereas the Crimson Sabotage version of the Crimson Apps is actually made from 2004. So this one is way more sturdier, of course, compared to the original 1984, because that one is pretty old, and at least for this one it will last a bit more longer. Now let's take a look at the Crimson Apps features. It is basically the same as the original Crimson Apps. Basically, you have this twin guns here that's actually articulated, that can go all the way up like so, or all the way down like so. You have a cockpit rib cage here that you can open up and store a figure inside. Like so, we're going to store a figure. We have to place the figure in this position by having it, well, really squat down and fold the arms inside in order to have the figure sit in properly, like so. Of course, we have the removable engine cover at the back here. Very nice. The mold of the Crimson Apps is absolutely gorgeous. It's exactly the same as the original Crimson Apps that was released in 1984 with no changes at all. It's just a total repaint. Right now, the Crimson Apps is in a siege mode, if you want to call it this way, or in its gun mode here, with all the legs and the wheels all folded down. Now, in order to have the entire Crimson Apps in the towable mode, all you have to do is just fold the legs up like so. You have to be careful with the pegs there, because the pegs is a bit tight. Fold it all the way until you can feel there's a click there. The back portion as well. There you have it. A towable. As you can see, the back portion of the Crimson apps, this is where you hook onto the back portion of the Crimson Hashtag, like so. Or you can hook on to any vehicles that actually has a towable hook. Very nice. And yes, it rolls pretty well as well. You can see the wheels rolling very well. Fold this back to its original position first as a gun mode. So I can place this on someplace else. Now let's take a look at the Crimson Hashtag. Now the entire Crimson Hashtag here, majority of the parts is actually made of a red plastic material color. The turret is made of a black plastic material color. The wheels is also made of a black plastic material color. However, the canopy hatch here is made of a clear, dark red, translucent plastic. So you're barely able to see anyone inside when you place a figure, which is very nicely done. I really like this color of the canopy hatch here. It looks very nicely done. And yes, the whole body of the Hashtag itself is actually painted in red. Very nice. Back portion of the platform is painted in black. Of course, this entire turret is not painted at all. There's a lot of sticker labels on one side. There's a sticker label here that's stated 32. Here we have the Crimson Guard emblem, and it's stated here with the words much more clearer compared to the figure First Crimson Division. Of course, the way Hasbro placed the sticker labels is a little bit off angle. Here we got another black logo of the Cobra logo there, and here we have the Crimson Brigade logo with the skull there. Also a small little Cobra logo under the forehead of the skull. Very nice. Here is stated his acronym stands for High Speed Sentry. Same stickers on the other side as well. From the front here, there's a headlight stickers as well. Very nice. At the back portion here, more sticker labels. Here is stated holder access. Bottom section here, sticker labels to read step, so the troops can actually step onto the platform itself. As you can see, the sticker labels is all off-centered. As you can see, it's a little bit off-angle, so that's on this section here. For the turret, there's nothing too special, except there's a bit of sticker label here as well. Also step in, as you can see, very nice. But not a lot of sticker labels placed onto the turret itself, not unlike the original Hashtag that was released in 1983, when there's a sticker label of a small Cobra logo onto this section here, and control labels sticker placed on this section here. It looks quite bland and empty. Bottom section of the Hashtag is also painted on this section, and so does red paint job on this section with black paint job on some of the engine parts here. Very nice. Same goes on the other side. Very nice. The wheels are painted in black. As you can see, the wheels are all painted in black. The track itself is also painted in black, but covered in a lot of mud stains. So that's on the bottom section. Very nicely done. The small little panelings, gears is also painted in black. There's also a sticker label here stating caution. Here we have a silver paint job. Same goes on the other side. Very nicely done. This section here, as you can see, is made of a black plastic material color. The wheels are all made of a black plastic material color as well. The section is painted in black as well. And by opening the canopy, the whole entire piece here, the entire seating cockpit area is painted in black. Very nice. Now let's compare this mode to the original Hashtag. As you can see here, this is my original vintage Hashtag here. They're both the same mode with no changes at all. As you can see. Moving on one side, this mold of the his tank itself is actually made from 2004 rather than 1983 or 1982. Now, it does have some features. As I mentioned before, you have this cockpit that actually opens and you can actually store one figure inside, like so. Here we have a turret that turns 360 degrees, or you can actually turn it in a certain angle and you can open it up. You can place one figure inside, like so. Turret here, you have to be extra careful. It does elevate and it goes up like this far and straight like so. But I do not suggest playing around with the turret too much because again, it uses the same style as the original his tank. It's supported by these two tiny little pins, and it has to go through this tiny little knobs of pegs there to lock the positioning of the turret itself, the barrels of the guns itself. So if you play around with it too much by moving this entire barrel going up and down, it will just stress the two little pin plastics and eventually it will break. At the platform at the back here, you can also store another figure. There's two pegs there. You can place it at the bottom section of the figure's boots, like so. Very nice. Very nicely done. And finally, it does have wheels and it does roll pretty well. And also at the back portion of the his tank itself, that's the tow hook. Now bringing these two together, very nicely done. And you must be wondering, is it compatible to fit in the 25th or 30th anniversary figures? And the answer is quite obvious since I already reviewed both the vehicles before. Well, at least the original vehicles of the Crimson Apps that was released in 1984 and the his tank that was released in 1983. Yes, it is compatible. Here we have the 25th anniversary of the Crimson Guard. You really need to fold the legs like so in order to have the figure fit into the Crimson Apps, like so. This one is pretty easy. So we have him stand like so. Now for the cockpit of the Crimson his tank here, because it's meant to fit in the O-ring figures and it's a bit smaller than the 25th anniversary figures, it's a bit taller. The cockpit is a little bit tight for him. So in order to have the 25th anniversary figure to fit in the cockpit, you really need to push the figure all the way down so the hatch can close properly. We'll move the arms up first. Let's see. As you can see, you have to really push the figure all the way in, otherwise it doesn't close all the way in. So you can actually fit it in, but really have to push it in like so. It's quite difficult to have the figure sit in. Everything is falling apart. There you go. And there you have it. We have the Operation Crimson Sabotage set of the Crimson Hashtag and the Crimson Abs. Overall, the vehicles is very nice. At least they actually reused the mold for the Crimson Abs that was released in 1984, because these vehicles are very nice, and it's quite hard to actually find a really good condition of the Crimson Abs in eBay that is complete and not damaged, especially on the peg parts there. So for a 2004 release, at least we have something that is, well, at least it uses a new mold and it will last a bit more longer. So it's actually quite nice that they actually re-released the Crimson Abs mode. And the his tank here, for this his tank, is basically the same as any other his tanks that were released back in the past, and even for the 25th anniversary line. But I really like the paint job. The paint job is quite well done on the muddy tracks there, very nicely done, and they actually painted the body of the his tank in red as well. Very nice. I really like the cockpit color, the cockpit hatch color here for the canopy hatch, which is in dark red clear translucent plastic. You're hardly able to see anything. You're barely able to see the figure's head there, which is very nice. Though they should have put more sticker labels to put more details onto the turret itself. It looks quite bland on the turret, but the entire vehicle looks really great. So if I'm going to give a rating on this, I say I'll give it a nice 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10 for the Operation Crimson Sabotage of the Crimson Hashtag and the Crimson Abs. And I thank everyone for watching this video. This is the end of the video. I'm Lunacy05 and I'm signing off.